So we have to get up and get dressed and brush hair because today we might actually be seen by people. Wait a minute! What are people?
Morning ritual of digging clothes out of the bottom of the quarter bird.
After getting dressed, we left Lila at the docks and headed off to explore the town. Tofino seemed to have great affinity for their pets. Some odder than others. We ate lunch at a cute cafe, then wandered around the town some more, checking out the sights. The eagles were magnificent, even the one who hit the power line right in front of us.
We are currently rowing to the big tree trail on Mears Island. And since the water taxi was $100, we're going by ourselves. I'm walking you.
So we had planned to anchor and then row on in, which we have done. However, in the meantime, we bumped the bottom, and as the tide is still going out just a little bit, we stuck. So we rowed out an anchor and tried to catch ourselves off, but we had stuck a little bit more. The tide is still going out a few more inches. So we made sure the boat was all safe and anchored up tight in a place where it can swing off if we don't make it back before the tide turns. So it's a bit of a misadventure, but it will be not a problem, and we're having a lot of fun.
Do you want me to zoom in on her? We think that's the high water line.
Where the trees all stop growing down.
Yeah, where the trees all stop growing down because of the salt water. We're assuming. There's a nice little beach right there.
We finally found the trail. We stopped in several wrong places and rode farther than we needed to. And the first sign we knew we'd found the trail was this lovely outhouse. And the sign they used to make the door is a restaurant menu, which does seem a little ironic.
The big tree trail was comprised of a rustic but well-maintained boardwalk that wound its way through the vegetation for the first half of the trail. While typically I like more traditional trails, boardwalks like this in wet environments really help keep the erosion down so you can see nature as it is, even though lots of people are traveling through. Recently, some people had been up doing maintenance and had cut these rounds off of a tree.
We found a big tree, yay! And it's big. With gold heads. Or features. And very tall. Very, very.
Hello! Well, that was an adventure. The big trees were great. Nice boardwalk. And then there's a sign that says boardwalk end. But the trail kept going. And we thought we saw on the map. We thought it was a very short loop. It was a very long loop. And a very muddy loop. And a very wet loop. And it's raining. And we are soaked to the bone, covered in mud.
Watch out for that island.
And rowing back through the rain. But I think we had a pretty good time. I think tomorrow we're going to love it. Breakfast time. Big pancakes and bacon. Give me orange juice. So, doing laundry on the boat for the first time ever. I don't know how efficient it's going to be, but we had some pants sitting out here that were totally soaked anyway and muddy. Well, get a bucket, throw some soap in there, squish them around for a bit, see if I can get them clean enough. And it's sunny today, so they just might dry. Maybe this will actually work.
And are you
I've heard of people doing this.
Are you
Never
using
done it myself.
fresh water or salt water?
This is salt water, so yeah, we'll want to rinse them in fresh after we get all the dirt out of them. Rinse the salt out. That's the theory. Let's see how it goes. Headed up Morris Channel and going by this island. Morris Island. Quite impressive. We're sitting on over 200 feet of water, just offshore a little bit here, and then the mountain just goes straight up. I don't know if you can see just how vertical that is on the video, but it goes up into the clouds and sloped enough that trees could grow on it, but it looks like just barely. Just over on this side, where there's lots of water, go over just a little bit, and it shallows out to like 24 feet, and then slow up all the way to the side. There's low hills over there. Chart here. We left Tofino this morning, went up through Dead Man's Pass, up here, down Calmus Passage, and now we're headed up Miller Channel. We're right about there at the moment, and the goal is to get up here, and either this way or this way, we haven't decided yet, around Obstruction Island, and up a little farther off the top of the chart to the end of the inlet there, and that's where we're going to spend hopefully 2 nights is the goal, to hang out there for a little while.
We're on the last page of the chart for the day, which always feels like an accomplishment. We're still in the north end of Miller Channel, and there's a tight path here around Obstruction Island that we're going to be taking here in a few minutes. There's actually 2 options. We can go Sulphur Passage up to the east, or Hayden Passage up to the west. And I have been leaning toward Hayden Passage for quite a while, and so I think that's the way that we're going to take. There's a inset here with better scale so that we can get a really good view of what we're going to be looking at. So it just seems safer even though it's a little bit longer. So as we enter in the passage, which we can see up ahead, we're going to have to watch out for these rocks to starboard, but they're marked, so we'll just keep that marker starboard and hug the western shore just a little bit of Flores. Right through here, it shows that as the passage narrows, the currents are pretty strong. We've tried to time it so that we'll be here right at the slack tide, but the books that we've read say that the tides here can be unpredictable, so it's possible that we'll still hit some current. As we come through, we'll line up the markers here on these rocks with this red up here. Keep both of those to our north, to our starboard as we come around and through. We should be able to spot a bunch of rocks here, but if we keep on the southern side, on the north side of this island here, the southern side of this channel, we should be safe, and then we can come back out onto the main chart and follow Shelter Inlet. It's wide and clear, looks like a great easy shot until we hit Bacchante Bay, where we're headed for the night. And then there's a bar, and we'll have to watch out for a couple of rocks as we go in, but it shouldn't be too difficult because there's not a lot of current. So that's where we're headed. Okay, that's definitely the triangle. And I think that red looks...
The channel, while quite narrow, was clearly marked and very straight so we could see all the way through. It's plenty deep in the middle, and we did hit it right at slack, so there was no currents to deal with in either direction, which was quite nice. Once in wider waters, I put the camera up on the pole and tried to get some more creative angles of the boat as we were going along. But soon it was time to stop playing around and start getting ready for the tight entrance into Bacchante Bay.
To favor the west shore, but here they say the rock is here, and here they say it's here, up on the inside.
Oh.
Here it says it's up on the inside.
Okay.
And it's shallower over here, but then there's a rock over there. So.
Oh. Okay.
We're going to a fjord! You probably can't see it, but it's really, really tiny, but we're headed towards it. And a fjord is...
Yeah.
Okay, a fjord...
I want to be
Okay. A place where the water has worn down a really kind of deep, like, droopy thingy. French, thank you, Hannah. Into the water, and you can sail into it. Well, that's when you can.
What makes this fjord really interesting, many fjords, the cliffs come right down to the water and then extend under the water, so they're so deep that you can't really anchor in them and enjoy them. But this fjord has a creek delta at the head of the fjord, so there are shallows where we will be able to anchor.
Oh, whoopee!
And then we can stay
In the fjord?
in the fjord.
Whoopee!
A sign that they're in, but we've got 20 feet under our keel now. So.
Yeah, that's called in. It's trying to get around this point up here, but it's getting better.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like the rock is up a point.
So we made it and anchored into beautiful Bacchante Bay. Up there is, I think they call the cliffs the Hanging Gardens with all the trees growing in them. I don't know if it will show up at all, but it's quite lovely. There's some flats along the back where a creek comes down. You can dinghy up the creek. So we're going to go check that out tomorrow. We can hear a waterfall back in there, but we can't see it. It's a little cloudy, but the clouds are still up plenty high. It's very pleasant. There's my beautiful wife. She's very pleasant too. She's making clam chowder. We saved some of the bacon from this morning's breakfast for the clam chowder. Potatoes and onions and clams. Oh, it smells good. Having a cup of tea, just watching things with the anchorage. Make sure the anchor's set the way I like. We're sitting the way we like. And over here, we believe, is our friend Jamie, who we met at Tofino. Been invited us over for tea. So I'm going to row over in a little bit and say hi. Kind of has the feeling of we finally made it. This is the farthest north point that we want to go. Quite excited to be here. I'm going to spend a couple days, rest and relax a little bit and see what we can see, play around, and start moseying our way back south. We still have 2 weeks to get back. A little under, but that should be good. Feels like quite an achievement to get up here. Quite a ways to come. Hope going back is as smooth or smoother than coming up.